Margaret is 77. 6 months ago, she could not get up from a park bench without her daughter's arm. Her doctor gave her pills and told her to take it easy. Nobody told her which muscles had shut down. She found 5 exercises, and in 6 weeks she could rise from anywhere without leaning on anything. Here is what she did. 1. A chair squat that rebuilds rising power. 2. A calf pump that restores circulation. 3. A balance hold that prevents falls. 4. A wall push that strengthens bones. And 5. A bridge that eliminates back pain. Before we start, tell me your age and where you are watching from in the comments. It helps me create better videos for you and for others in the same situation. Most people believe that the inability to stand up easily is caused by weak knees or bad joints, but the clinical reality is very different and far more hopeful. The real problem is not bone or cartilage. It is a silent shutdown of 3 muscle groups that work together every time you rise from a seated position: the quadriceps, the glutes, and the deep core stabilizers. After the age of 50, your body begins losing between 1 and 2% of muscle mass per year, a condition known as sarcopenia. By 70, that loss accelerates dangerously if those muscles are not specifically activated. And here is what nobody explains clearly enough. Walking does not fix this. Pills do not fix this. Only targeted activation of those sleeping muscles can reverse the decline. The reason is biological. Muscles need resistance to survive. Without a signal that tells them they are needed, the body breaks them down to save energy. It is not laziness. It is a survival mechanism working against you. A landmark study from the University of Zurich followed adults over 65 who performed functional strength exercises for just 12 weeks. The results were remarkable. Leg strength improved by 34%, the ability to rise from a chair without assistance improved by 41%, and the risk of falling dropped by 38%. These are not genetic lottery winners. These are ordinary people who learned the right movements and did them consistently. The 5 exercises you are about to learn target every one of those mechanisms. If you have ever felt embarrassed because you needed help standing up, stay with me. The first exercise attacks the root of that problem directly. Exercise 1, the Independence Riser, assisted squat to chair. This is the movement that separates those who live on their own terms from those who depend on others for the simplest tasks. Every single time you sit down and stand up, you are performing a squat. But with years of inactivity, the quadriceps weaken, the glutes shut down, and what used to be effortless becomes a battle against gravity. This exercise retrains that exact pattern. What makes it different from just sitting and standing casually is the intention. Every second of controlled descent forces the muscle fibers to lengthen under tension, which is the strongest stimulus for rebuilding lost strength. Place a sturdy chair behind you. Stand with your feet shoulder-width apart, toes pointing slightly outward. Cross your arms over your chest or extend them forward for balance. Now push your hips back as if you were trying to close a car door with your backside. Lower yourself slowly, taking 3 full seconds to descend until your glutes barely graze the seat. Do not sit down completely. The moment you feel that light contact, drive upward through your heels and squeeze your glutes hard at the top. That conscious activation increases the effectiveness of the movement by up to 44% according to biomechanical research. Start with 8 repetitions. Let me tell you about Robert, 74 years old. He came to my office ashamed because his grandchildren had to help him off the park bench every Sunday. I taught him this single exercise. 3 weeks later, he walked into my office, and before I could say a word, he sat down in the chair and stood right back up with his arms crossed. "Doctor," he said, "I got up from the park bench last Sunday and my granddaughter started clapping." That is not magic, that is muscular reactivation. This movement strengthens quadriceps, glutes, hamstrings, and core simultaneously. It fires up the neural connection between brain and leg and increases metabolic rate by engaging the largest muscle groups in the body. But raw strength alone will not protect you if your blood is not reaching your brain and your organs efficiently. The next exercise activates a hidden pump in your legs that most doctors never even mention. Exercise 2, the second heart activation, calf raises. Most people have no idea that their lower legs contain what vascular surgeons call the second heart. The calf muscles, specifically the soleus and the gastrocnemius, act as a powerful hydraulic pump that pushes blood from your feet back up toward your chest, fighting gravity with every contraction. But after years of sitting and reduced movement, this pump weakens. Blood begins to pool in the lower extremities, causing swelling, heaviness, varicose veins, and that chronic tired feeling that so many seniors accept as unavoidable. Reactivating this pump takes less than 2 minutes. Stand behind a chair or face a wall for support. Raise your heels slowly until you're on the balls of your feet. Hold the top position for 2 to 3 seconds while contracting your calves firmly. Then lower with control, taking another 2 seconds to descend. Immediately after, keep your heels on the ground and lift your toes toward the ceiling. This opposite motion strengthens the tibialis anterior, the muscle that prevents you from dragging your feet and tripping on carpets or curbs. Perform 15 to 20 repetitions of each direction. I remember Helen, 71 years old, who complained of heavy swollen legs every evening. I asked her to do this exercise 3 times a day, even while watching television. After 2 weeks, she came back smiling and told me, "Doctor, my legs feel alive again for the first time in years." The Japanese, famous for their extraordinary longevity, incorporate this pumping motion into their daily habits, performing it while brushing their teeth or waiting for the bus, turning dead moments into pure medicine for their arteries. What most people do not realize is that poor calf circulation also affects sleep quality, because when fluid pools in the legs during the day, it shifts to the lungs at night, causing breathlessness and restless sleep. Activating the second heart fixes both problems at once. Now your circulation is flowing and your legs feel lighter, but none of that matters if a single stumble sends you to the hospital. The next exercise is your insurance policy against the #1 threat to mobility after 60. Exercise 3, the anti-fall shield, single leg balance. The statistics are frightening. A single fall after 60 can trigger a cascade that leads to permanent loss of mobility. Hip fractures alone cause more hospital admissions in seniors than almost any other injury. But here is what the longest living populations in the world have figured out. The solution is not to stop moving out of fear. The solution is to train the body to react when the unexpected happens. This exercise looks deceptively simple. You stand on one leg, but beneath the surface, it recruits every stabilizer muscle in your ankle, knee, hip, and core. It also activates your proprioceptive system, the network of sensors in your joints and tendons that tells your brain exactly where your body is in space. When you stop challenging this system, it deteriorates, and that is when a small, uneven surface becomes a dangerous obstacle. This exercise rewires the neural pathways that control your reflexes so that if you ever trip on a rug or miss a step, your body corrects itself before you hit the ground. A longitudinal study of elderly Japanese adults who practiced single-leg balance daily showed a 60% reduction in hip fractures and a 40% decrease in falls over a 10-year period. Stand near a wall or a sturdy piece of furniture. Transfer your weight to one leg and slowly lift the other foot off the floor. You do not need to raise it high. The goal is to hold for up to 60 seconds, but if you are a beginner, start with 10 to 15 seconds per side and build from there. Keep your gaze fixed on a point in front of you and your abdomen gently engaged. Think of Eleanor, 73 years old, who had stopped going for walks because she was terrified of falling on uneven ground. After 4 weeks of daily practice, she told me, "Doctor, I walked through the park yesterday on the gravel path and I was not afraid, not once." Her muscles had not changed dramatically, but her brain had relearned how to keep her upright. What fascinates me clinically is that balance training also sharpens cognitive function, because the cerebellum, the part of the brain that coordinates movement, strengthens its connections every time you challenge your stability. You can practice this while washing dishes, waiting for the elevator, or standing in line. If these first 3 exercises have already opened your eyes to what is possible after 60, do me a favor right now. Hit subscribe and tap the bell. I release routines every week designed specifically for people over 60, and I do not want you to miss a single one. Now let us keep going, because exercise 4 rebuilds something your upper body has been silently losing for decades, and most people do not even realize it is gone. Exercise 4, the bone builder, wall push-ups. Many seniors abandon upper body training because they associate it with painful floor exercises and heavy weights. But ignoring the strength above your waist comes at an enormous cost. Every time you push open a heavy door, lift a suitcase, carry groceries, or push yourself up after a fall, you are relying on your chest, shoulders, and triceps. When those muscles weaken, the world starts to feel heavier and your confidence shrinks. Wall push-ups deliver the same muscular benefits as the traditional version with zero joint strain. Stand at arm's length from a clear wall. Place your palms flat against it at shoulder height, slightly wider than shoulder width. Keep your body in a straight line from head to heels, core engaged like a solid plank. Slowly bend your elbows and bring your chest toward the wall. Pause when your nose is close to the surface and then push back firmly to the starting position. Perform 8 to 12 slow and deliberate repetitions. What makes this exercise critical is that it provides controlled weight-bearing stimulus that increases bone density in the wrists and arms, areas highly vulnerable to osteoporotic fractures. It also opens the chest and corrects the rounded posture that compresses the lungs and restricts breathing over time. Think of George, 69 years old, who told me he felt defeated because he could no longer push the heavy glass door at the post office without struggling. After 3 weeks of daily practice, his exact words were, "Doctor, that door feels lighter now, and so do I." As you get stronger, simply step your feet further from the wall to increase the challenge. You control the intensity completely. Your upper body is waking up and your arms feel capable again. But there is one final piece missing: the muscle group that holds your entire frame together. Do not skip this last exercise. It is the one Margaret says changed her life. Exercise 5. The Spinal Shield, Glute Bridge. If you have ever woken up with that grinding ache in your lower back, the problem is probably not your spine. It is what experts call gluteal amnesia. Hours of sitting cause the glutes, the largest muscle group in your body, to fall asleep. When they stop firing, your lower back is forced to carry a burden it was never designed for, leading to chronic pain, stiffness, and poor posture. The glute bridge wakes up this sleeping giant. Lie on your back on a firm surface, bend your knees and place your feet flat on the floor hip-width apart, heels about 15 to 20 centimeters from your glutes. Before lifting, perform a posterior pelvic tilt by gently pressing your lower back into the floor. This protects your spine and increases muscle engagement by 38%. Now contract powerfully and drive your hips toward the ceiling, pushing exclusively through your heels. Rise until your body forms a straight line from knees to shoulders. Hold the top position for 3 full seconds, then lower slowly over 4 seconds. Do not rest completely at the bottom. As soon as you lightly touch the floor, begin the next repetition. Perform 3 sets of 12. A comprehensive UCLA study in 2023 examined hundreds of adults over 60 who incorporated this movement daily. In just 4 weeks, glute strength increased by 42%, and chronic lower back pain decreased by 36%. Walking speed also improved significantly, proving that strong glutes are the hidden engine behind every confident step you take. Margaret, our 77-year-old, told me this exercise was the turning point. She said, "After 2 weeks, my back stopped hurting in the morning. After 4 weeks, I could get up from the floor by myself. I had not done that in 10 years. This movement also improves circulation in the pelvis, stretches the hip flexors that shorten with age, and builds the isometric endurance that keeps your entire frame stable and aligned." Before incorporating these movements into your daily life, listen to your body. Every person ages differently, and what feels comfortable for one may be too much for another. I always recommend a basic medical checkup before starting, especially if you have high blood pressure, diabetes, joint replacements, or heart conditions. During the exercises, you should feel effort, but never sharp pain. If you experience dizziness, chest discomfort, or shortness of breath, stop immediately and consult your doctor. Consistency always defeats intensity. 10 minutes every other day is better than 1 exhausting hour followed by a week of nothing. Hydrate before and after each session. Wear supportive footwear. Combine these exercises with a balanced diet rich in protein, vegetables, and healthy fats to support muscle repair. Rest matters too. Your muscles do not grow while you train. They rebuild while you sleep. Your body has not failed you. It has been waiting for you to wake it up. Margaret is 77. Her doctors only gave her pills. But these 5 movements, the independence riser, the second heart activation, the anti-fall shield, the bone builder, and the spinal shield, gave her back her body. They can do the same for you. Start with 1 exercise today. Add another tomorrow. Do not chase perfection. Chase consistency. Your legs, your back, your balance, and your confidence will thank you more than you can imagine. If this video gave you hope or taught you something new, subscribe to the channel and tap the bell so you never miss a new routine. Leave me a comment telling me which of the 5 exercises you will start with today, and share this video with someone you love who deserves to stand tall again, because the right movement at the right time can change a life. Your moment is right now.